Hey guys, welcome to Reinvent Yourself. This is your next level chapter. I'm so excited to have you here. So I know we are streaming to multiple platforms, and I'm just going to take a minute as that gets set up. My team is here. I'm so excited. I'm extremely passionate about what we're about to talk about today. The questions that I received, the desires, the goals that you guys have. I've taken all of that into account. So there was some spot coaching and different messages and other things that we're going to do today. But so far, what I really want to bring you into, as I cross my legs here, I'm Melissa Catherine. Today we are doing Reinvent Yourself. This is a 2-day complimentary event. It's 11 to 1 today and tomorrow. And this is Reinvent Yourself, your next level identity. And this is geared towards the high achieving, successful woman who is ready for her next level of success, ready for her next chapter, really in a space where even if you don't have the clarity, you're feeling the pull. You got the pull to something bigger, something greater, something's on your heart. And you're needing not only the confidence and the belief within yourself, but the clarity. And there's something that's magical. I've pivoted many times in my life. The magical pivot, I've reinvented myself. And one of the things that I've found in the world of manifestation, I've been in self-development and self-growth. I've been a transformational coach for over 20 years. I have a background as a holistic nutritionist, master life coach, master hypnotherapist, psychology of food self-sabotaging behaviors and women, breathwork practitioner, energy, and intuitive. In fact, I'm a world-renowned intuitive. And what I've found in all of this, that the true power lies in identity, and that a lot is getting lost, especially nowadays, because manifestation has become such a buzzword that it's almost become overcomplicated. And I started to get several messages. Like I said, I've been doing this for 20 years. We've had thousands of women go through our programs, worked with hundreds privately, but more and more in the past, I would say 2 years in particular, there's been a lot of questions that I've received around manifesting, making vision boards, wanting things to change in their reality, outer reality, and seeing shifts for a short period of time, but not being able to sustain them. Seeing movement and getting the understanding, the awareness around it. They were able to regurgitate to me the beliefs, all the books that they had read, and theories. And I get that too, because I too was able to do that and conceptualize all of these things in self-development, in manifestation, in law of attraction, in mindset. But there's a big difference between conceptualizing something and embodying it and living in the daily application and ownership of it. And so as I was working with my clients, and where this really came about, I have an ongoing online membership called Limitless Academy. It's Life, Mind, Body Mastery. And I run, different intensive groups. And then I have our inner circle. And what I saw though, and when I was reverse engineering, I said, well, how did I have the most success? And how did I go from being a fashion designer to starting a thriving online business when I knew nothing? How did I go? How did I do movies? How did I write books? How did I podcasts? How did I do these things when I had never done them? And what were the biggest shifts in my life where I had the most success, and i.e. quantum leaped? What did I do? Because there was many times where I was doing all the rituals. I was doing all of the things in alignment with manifestation and law of attraction, but they weren't working. I wasn't seeing a change in my outer reality. And as I would say I could use myself, and I can use many client stories, which I will share more today. But I also believe that my own living this work, being in integrity with this work, success with this work is my greatest testament. Eradicating cancer from my body in 8 weeks through identity, through the power of mindset and understanding, through the intuitive body. That is a miracle, right? It's endless, from actual physical attributes happening to me, like randomly getting this, beauty mark, to achieving my ideal weight without a thyroid and sustaining that after over 20 years of disordered eating. How did that happen? How did that happen that I spent 20 years dieting, losing, gaining? It was identity. it was identity, and it was tied, and there's so much to identity. And that's what we're going to do here today, because I believe you give me a woman that feels good in her body and she is unstoppable and she will go for her dreams. I believe you give me a woman that is connected and trusts herself and is in tune with her body. She controls her mind. She taps into her own intuitive gifts and allows that to guide her. So gone are the days of striving and operating from our masculine and building a life, a body, a business that isn't in alignment, that we have to bust our ass for. That's not what we're doing here. And trust me, I've done that too. And I got adrenal fatigue, and I built a thriving multiple, my God, my hair. Guys, anybody else have like wavy hair that's just all out of sorts? Thriving, almost 7-figure business. And I remember sitting there and I got diagnosed with cancer, and I'm like, I don't even want this, but like, I don't know what I did here. But now I have the golden handcuffs that I created for myself in a business that I don't want. And I'm exhausted. And so I've done all the things. And that's why I really, really know inherently and received the intuitive guidance that now more than ever, women are ready to rise. And the women that are attracted to me, and that's you, lady love, it's because you are going to do it in your own unique way. You felt the call. You are ready to play a bigger game in your life. You've been playing small and you know it, and it's working against you. That playing small is what's done more harm than good to you. That playing small is what's stunted your voice. It's created illness. It's messed with your hormones. It's created emotional eating and disordered eating and weight gain. It's created you being in the supporting role instead of being in front and center stage, where you know you're being called to, where you know your heart desire to be what your soul brought you here to be. And I get that you're afraid. And I have been too. In fact, every day in a new way. I'm in my biggest reinvention now. We're starting my next reinvention program starting April 1st for those that are ready to dramatically shift and up-level their lives. I don't know a woman that's joined that isn't sitting there in some sort of fear, but fear and excitement are on the same energetic plane, because they know that that option of staying the same is not even an option. Right? It's when we get to that point. Did you ever notice that once you get to that point, you're like, I'll do anything. Like, I remember when I ran my Love Your Body, Lose the Weight program, the women that signed up, it was a transformational program. It was like, you're committing 6 months of your life, but how many more years do you want to spend dieting? And I would, without fail, the women that joined were like, I have tried everything. I keep coming back to you. It sounds like you have something different. Like, I'm so done. Like, whatever, fine. And then they did it, and they were like, everything changed. My entire life changed. And I go, yeah, and you lost the weight. And they're like, I don't even care about that. I'm just so happy, because it's never about the weight, and it's never about the money. It's never about the fear. It's never about the investing. It's never that you actually don't have time. You are being blinded by fear of your own greatness. You are being blinded and being fed, spoon-fed, truly, the lies and buying into the old identity. And I'm here to tell you, and this is what's so exciting, it like fires me up. So I hope you're feeling this from me. We get to question all of it. We don't need to own any beliefs that we don't want anymore. You get to ask yourself, I was doing spot coaching, I think it was in our last event, and one of the women came on, and bras drive me nuts. I'm sorry. You have to tell me if you can see my bra, because I get fired up and then I don't know what I'm doing here. But she said to me, and she's like, yeah, and then I heard this isn't enough and this is enough. And I said, well, whose voice is that? And she was like, what? And I was like, whose voice is that? Where did you hear that you're not enough? And she goes, oh my God, I don't know. I never asked myself. I go, well, it didn't start with you. Is it your mother, your father, a friend, a sibling, a teacher? Like, where did you get it? And right away I was hearing mom. And then she was like, my mom, she always criticized. She always, no matter what I did, my grades weren't enough. I wasn't thin enough. And so that voice that criticizes you, that judges yourself and others, that's not you. But we think that it is, because we think our minds. And I'm here to start off today's event to tell you, you are not your thoughts and you are not your mind. You get to program your mind. And if you don't like what it's telling you, you can stop it at any time. A belief gets created in 17 seconds. So if you don't like a belief, create a new one and then hold it and make it your truth. Next thing I need you to know, the only truth that exists is the one that you believe. Don't buy into somebody else's truth. That's another human that's telling you something. Buy into what you want to be true and then repeat it and repeat it until you know it without question. But the only truth that exists is the one that you believe. So what do you believe to be true about you right now? What do you believe is possible for you? See, your potential is limitless, but all too often we buy into our limitations. And all too often I see women in my community fighting for their limitations and telling me all the reasons why they can't have what they want, be who they want, why they're not deserving of what they want. And I'm here to tell you, you're deserving because you are. You're deserving because you're you. There was last night, and I very rarely, I'm not a scroller. It's just not something I want to spend my time doing. Unless it's a curated feed that's like highly supportive to me. And that's how I've curated my feed. And I tell my clients to, but I really don't, I like to spend my time doing other things, and not to each his own. That's just me. And James Vanderbeek came on. Do you guys remember Dawson's Creek? James, I'm like totally dating myself. I'm 46. And my birthday's coming up in a month. But James Vanderbeek came on, and I've never, like I said, I very rarely am like scrolling. And he came on and he said, he went, it was beautiful, beautiful reel. And he said he apparently had just gone through cancer. And he said his whole life, he looked for ways to define himself. First, it's the actor, I'm the artist. And he's like, that wasn't very fulfilling. He goes, then I define myself as a husband. I'm a good man. I'm good to my wife. I'm a provider. Then he said, I'm a father. And he's like, and that was so fulfilling. I'm a father. He goes, and then I got cancer and I had to face death's door. And then I really had to ask myself, who am I? What defines me? And this is so beautiful. And I have full body chills. So I hope that you guys will hear this and take this in for you. Because I don't believe I would be sharing it otherwise. And he said, he heard in that moment, you're enough. You define you. You're enough because you're you. There's nothing more that you need to do. And he said for him, that was God speaking to him. And he felt this lightness. And he said, my whole life, he's like, and he's now 48. He's like, I was tied to these identities. I had to define myself. I needed them to give me purpose. I needed them to give me value. He's like, and once I looked death in the eye, I just heard I never needed to be anything but me. I wasn't planning on sharing that, but I know now why. Because I want you to know that that's the only thing you're being called to. So when I'm talking about reinvention, I'm not talking about you needing the old you to die away. No, I'm just talking about, we just want to peel away all aspects of you that are clouding who you really are, that are blinding you. So reinvent yourself, your next level identity is we get to design who you get to be by your design, not by default. So I want to get to know you guys. I know we're on multiple platforms right now, wherever you're tuning in from, wherever in the world, I want to know. Yes, Sybil saying, wow, that's powerful. I don't want to wait until death's door to live my truth. No, exactly. And that's what I said after cancer awakened me to do my entire life differently. And I always said, moving forward from that day, I said, I'm going to turn this hardship into my greatest gift, and I'm going to pay it forward. And I'm going to shout from the rooftops that I don't want anybody else to need an illness to have them decide that they get to live their life, to have them, give them a reason to do things differently, that we get to decide at every moment. We don't need New Year's resolutions. You know, I was asking in Limitless Academy, I said, guys, share. And I'm going to ask you guys this right now. That's my online membership community. I want to know, what is one thing you're wanting? You signed up for this event, right? We had thousands register for this event. No matter where you are, what platform you're on, or where you are in the world right now, you signed up for a reason. Something called you. The title is Reinvent Yourself, Your Next Level Identity. What do you want in this next chapter for you? You know, life can change on a dime. Like, it doesn't need to take a long time. That's just a construct. We've created time. So what do you want? Tell me right now, what is one thing that you're desiring for yourself? Christina Barone, beautiful. Be my authentic self. So how is your, this is gold. How is your authentic self different than how you're showing up today? See, guys, that's the clarity that we need. And I would love to hear from you in the comments if you're okay with that. That would be beautiful. But be my authentic self. Ask yourself, if you want weight loss, what in you doesn't believe that's possible? So Christine's saying, play big. Okay. So let's take it a step further. I'm going to have you guys dig. We need clarity. We need to tell the universe exactly what we want. God source energy. I'm going to tell you what play big means for me. So get really crystal clear, guys. What does play big mean? And take it a step further and ask yourself, why aren't you doing it? What are you worried about? What's the fear there? Sybil, joy and peace within myself. Great. So why can't you allow yourself joy and peace today? Why can't you allow yourself to be your authentic self and play big today? What is the belief? See, so let's take this a step further because this ties into our first exercise. I want you guys to share what it is that you're wanting. And I want you to ask yourself, who do you believe you need to be? What do you believe you need to have achieved in order for you to play big? So for you to not have judgment from your family, what do you think you need to have achieved? First off, your family and everybody's going to judge you no matter what. In fact, the bigger game you play, I just want to tell you, the more judgment you have. I have experienced that firsthand. You think all my comments are, I'm very fortunate. I get a lot of love online, but I can tell you the judgments, that doesn't stop. In fact, they even often can get more severe. And even if your family isn't telling you, they've got judgments. People are judging all the time. So you have to be so in conviction with what you stand for, and to know at the end of this life, it's you with you. So I want to know what's stopping you from doing that. So it's judgments of family. So what do you think who do you need to be then? Fearless? Do you think you need to have had a certain level of success and wealth before you can show up online? So I work right now, our reinvention program is geared towards women that not only are awake and aware and want to go to their next level, but they also want to start a business, find their purpose, or pivot in their careers, right? So one of the things with that is you've got to show up. So it's waiting until they've adopted this either level of success and wealth. Like, oh, I would totally show up online if I had 100 million followers. If I had 1 million followers and I was making $1 million a year, I would totally show up. Well, you need to show up to make the $1 million. So this is all about identity, right? So we want to get really, really clear on the version of us that we want to be. So I want everyone here to get a pen and paper, and I want you to ask yourself, what is one thing, what called you to this event? Share in the habits. I'm reading her comment, let go of bad habits. That's great. Write those down. And then ask yourself, the version of me who's playing big, does she have these habits? What habits would she have? And then you start adding one of those to your day. We don't become the new identity by thinking about her endlessly. We don't become the new version and create the wealth, the ideal body, the joy, and the peace by sitting with ourselves and never changing how we be. The key is who you're being. You don't need another strategy. You need to shift your identity into the woman who already is the version of you who has what you want. Because you wouldn't want it if it didn't already exist, and you wouldn't want it if you already weren't her. All that's happening is your soul. I teach this, it's called soul speak. Your soul is speaking to you and saying, I need you to get rid of these things that are blocking you from the manifestations, from the identification, from the version of you that has all the things, so you can start to live a life of fulfillment and joy, right? And so right away, do we see how quickly, I know everybody's on different platforms, do we see how quickly comments came in? Because each and every one of you knows, what exact habits do I need to let go of? You already know, because your soul already guided you. So our job is not to sit in stagnation. Our job is to start leaning in to the resistance, because on the other side of resistance are your dreams come true. I always say fear is your fortune teller. You step into the fear, your fortunes are on the other side. And the more you lean into the fear, the less hold it has over you. The more you listen to the fear, you will not grow. You will stay exactly the same. It will keep you at your thermostat setting, because the mind is nothing more than an artifact of past consciousness. It only knows what you've taught it. You cannot ask your mind to take you to a place that you haven't been, which is why coaches, guides, mentors, books, all of these things exist, YouTube, right? Why? So we can learn a new point of view from somebody who's done something that we haven't done, but we want to. And then we learn from them, and then we study under them, and then we invest with them, or whatever we need to do. But we cannot bring ourselves to achieve something that we have yet to understand or achieve ourselves, because we are actually programming the mind at all times. Things happen twice. We experience them twice, first in the imagination, then in our 3D reality. But the imagined mind is the godlike mind, as Neville Goddard would say. So what do we think? We imagine things all the time. And when people say to me, but Melissa, I don't know how to imagine, that's just not true. I say, Apple, you have a vision, don't you? I say tree, a tree comes to mind. You're imagining. When you're driving to work, you have an entire vision. When you're thinking of the holidays, a vision comes out. You're visioning all the time. So now what you want to do is, instead of watching your life as a movie, you're going to see your desires come to life through your own eyes. That's the trick that people don't fully tell you. We're not watching it as a movie. No, you're not watching yourself as a movie in some distant, far off scene. You're watching yourself through your own lens, experiencing life. I'm seeing my hands through my own eyes. I'm watching my feet. I'm walking on the beach. I'm sitting in meditation. I'm in my ideal body. I can see a flat belly. Right? So the more that we feed our mind and saturate our mind with our desires, with visions that we want to be our reality, the mind doesn't know a difference between dream and reality. So the more that we do that, what do you think happens? We saturate the mind with an experience. And then the key is the feeling state, right? The feeling state. Neville Goddard actually talks about bringing it to life through the feeling state. And the feeling state, for those of you that aren't aware, Neville Goddard is one of the very first thought leaders in the New Age world and self-development and in the power of awareness and using our mind to actually create for us, helping us to understand that we are godlike consciousness within ourselves and we can create, right? And so really understanding that when you have a dream, when you bring it to life multiple times, in our outer reality, it has to happen for us. This is why they say, children get to daydream and then it comes to life. And as adults, we stop dreaming. And often we have to reignite that muscle of imagination to allow ourselves to dream again and get out of the responsibility, to start to understand that that's actually the world of manifestation and co-creation. And that dropping into that frequency is what's going to create for us. But the more that we are out of it, we stay in the doldrums of life and life happens to us, right? Instead of for us. And then we are watching our life go, and year after year, and then people come to me and they go, Melissa, my life has not changed at all. And I feel like I'm living the same day over and over like Groundhog's Day. And I said, well, you are, because you're living in an unawakened state and you're choosing it when your imagination is right there and it's the key. And if you spent more time, even just a few minutes a day before bed and upon waking, your life would dramatically change very, very quickly by saturating your mind with that which you desire to see and living it as your reality. And then what you want to do is bring the feeling life into it. And what I mean by that, have you ever listened to a song and you get dropped back to like you at prom, or maybe the loss of a loved one, or a holiday, and there's nostalgia and you start crying? You are now bringing the emotion, you're bringing the actual scene to life in the body. You're activating the cellular memory of that. And therefore you're either laughing or you're crying or you're getting angry. Well, when we do that over and over again with something that we desire, that we want to create in the future, what do we think happens? We become a magnet for us. And then where we place our focus, our energy goes and grows. And therefore it has no way by law of attraction to not occur in our outer reality. So what do we think we are doing here in reinvention? We first want to get crystal clear on what is it that we're actually feeling called to. We're being called to be somebody we haven't been. Wow, that's okay. Well, we've been her. We just need to remind ourselves that she actually exists within us, that we're so extraordinary and we were never meant to be ordinary. And that I'm being called to this life for that reason. And that I'm being called to more money, that I'm being called to express, that I'm being called to start this new job, that I'm being called to end this relationship or start this relationship or have a child or adopt or travel the world, or whatever you're feeling called to. There's a reason for it. And if you can see it, your soul is telling you it's happened and it's meant for you. And the more that you drop into it, the more you bring it to life. And then the more you start assuming and thinking from that identity. And then you start opening up your mind and activating your mind to start to think of that as possibilities. And then your mind starts opening up new doorways and areas and realms of potentiality and possibility for you. And then all of a sudden you run into somebody and you run into a friend and they say something to you like, oh my God, you know, you look blah, blah, blah. And you go, yeah, I was just reading this book and I'd love to write a book someday. And they go, that's crazy. Do you know my good friend's a publisher? And you go, oh my God, really? It's always been my dream to have my book published. Wow, I should really introduce you guys. And you're like, oh my God, that's so crazy. I really just went down the street, you know, to get a cup of coffee. That's how it works. That's how it happens. It doesn't have to take all this, oh my God, all this strategy, and I'm so afraid. And I will often get told, Melissa, why is it so much easier? Why is it so much easier to stay lazy, to stay where we are, and so much harder to actually do things that are good for us or do what we're called to? And my response was, it's actually not easier. It's a lot more painful to stay the same. It may feel easier because you're in your comfort zone, but the pain that your comfort zone is costing you, we can't even put a dollar value on because it is so immense and so huge. And it's costing you your health. It's costing you being at a weight that feels really good for you. It's costing you your confidence. And it's costing you the dreams that you have on your heart and the life that you want to be living, that you know you were meant for something bigger and greater and more. And that's what it's costing you. So yeah, we can all stay the same. But I also say this, when somebody tells me, oh, you know, self-growth and self-development, it's so much, I go, our souls came here to expand and to express. They didn't come here to stay the same. That's not Earth School. It's not the human life. And you can either do it from a place where you're awake and aware, or you can do it and have life happen to you. And it's quite painful. But either way, life is going to call you to have to grow. And it can either be, like I said, painful, or it can be something where instead of getting angry for a week, you're only angry for 5 minutes. Instead of feeling sad or depressed and going into a spiral for 30 days and gaining weight, you can be aware of it and do something different and instead use it to propel your health forward. Instead of sitting there and staying stuck in debt and being in a job that you hate and being afraid to leave it because you're operating from lack, you could end up quadrupling your income with a side hustle, making a difference and doing something that you love and being the inspiration and motivation you always dreamed of having. And now you get to be it. Do you see what I'm saying? So the invitation is always there to go higher. And I'm here to support you and ignite in you the truth that is you. And the truth that is you is you were meant for extraordinary things or you wouldn't be here. This title wouldn't have even called to you, which means it's already done. So your job is truly only to have faith in it, which means having faith in yourself. What is faith? Faith and fear are the exact same things. They require the same exact thing for you to believe in them. They're both unseen. They're both very powerful. One can bring you your dreams and the other can rob you of them. But they're both the same. It's believing in something that you cannot see or touch. So I always say, why not bet on yourself? So today, guys, in this 2-day event, which is today 11 to 1, tomorrow 11 to 1, I'm telling you right now. And I want to get caught up on the comments here. Good old judgment, especially as I'm working on allowing myself to be fully seen. Yeah, so judgment is a joy stealer. I call it a joy stealer. And judgment will always rob you. And so instead of allowing the judgment to win, you get to look at judgment and go, today I'm winning. And today I'm doing it my way. And you can also talk to the judger. It's just a part. And we get to do this. We're doing this deep in our programs. We do this in Limitless. We do this in Reinvention. If you guys feel called, I'll just put Limitless or Reinvention below. We're running an intro for anybody new that wants to join Limitless. It's only $98. And it's endless. I mean, it's an academy. It's have everything in there possible, and we meet each week. And then there's reinvention. And if you, like I said, if you're truly ready to dramatically change your life, in our 6-month program, I've never seen another program like it. And it's incredible. And applications are below. We only have a few spots left, and we start April 1st. But I can talk more about that. And those who sign up in this event will also get my program, Love Your Body, Lose the Weight. And if you've already done Love Your Body, Lose the Weight, which is a 6-month transformational program to transform your body, your health, your relationship with food for good. This is this program was channeled. It's incredible. That's our bonus today for reinvention, for anybody who signs up today with reinvention. And if you've already done Love Your Body, Lose the Weight, then the other bonus that you would get is being a part of Limitless Academy, which is normally a $300 investment monthly. But I can talk about those. I don't want to go too much into that. I know you guys were asking me in the comments. I will talk about reinvention and all of that later on. I really want to make sure that we get to today's content because it's so good. And I've planned just epic for you. So with judgment, I'm going to talk today about actually how to handle our own inner critic and our own inner judger. And what to do and how to actually get those parts to work with you. And I just want to give you guys an overview here on what to expect in these next 2 days. And we're also going to map out and bring about clarity on what that next step is for you, what you're really looking to experience. So for those of you, I got a lot of questions around lack of clarity, and on what that next chapter is for you. I also got a lot of questions on those that are really ready to be seen and they want to get their healthiest and best body, which is why we decided to pair and give you guys a bonus. The Love Your Body, Lose the Weight program is normally a $3,000 program. And that is one of our bonuses for joining Reinvention. So, but I say this to you because I want you to know that in these next 2 days, I'm really going to speak into the identity of that version of you. I also want you to know that in April, our April event will be Reinvent Yourself, the Wealthy Woman, and May is Reinvent Your Body. And that is, these are just epic. So I'm like obsessed with these 2-day events that I get to do. And they're the ones that you guys asked for. So I feel so honored and so blessed. Okay. Judgment. So let's go into this. If you feel the judger come up, because a few of you have already mentioned that, when judgment comes up, I want you to understand judgment is a part. So I always say we're like Sybil. We've got 99 personalities, probably more. All of these parts in the intuitive world, I see them as their fractured selves. So I want you to think of it this way as I take a sip of, this is like a giant matcha. Does anybody else? I use Rise, the mushroom matcha. I'm obsessed. Okay. Rise mushroom matcha, anybody? And I also have to tell you, matcha is just, it's so good. And for anybody that wants, and I will say this, because I also got asked about this. I just did on YouTube, micro habits for women over 40 to get their ideal body. So if you guys want to check out that video, if you're new to me on my channel, we have an entire reinvention micro habit series that I'm doing right now. So definitely check that out if you're interested in that. I think you guys would like that. And if you don't want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, get on my email list, because I also share all the videos that I do each week with my email list. And I also share content with my email list that I don't normally. Okay, I've got to stop talking about all the different ways that we can connect. I love it. And I love all these questions. My email is, well, sign up for this event and you'll get on my email list, or go over to melissacatherine.com. And then I'll get to these questions at the end. Heather Sparks, I'm so good to see you. What's up, UK? I love having you here. And Sybil, you're amazing. Okay. And Rise, I don't work for them. They did send me their stuff to try. So I only talk about things that I've actually tried that I do use. Rise, RYZE. I will put a link below, or no, I can't put, we'll send it out in the replay because they also have, those of you that have trouble sleeping, they have a mushroom hot cocoa, and they also have a mushroom coffee for those that don't want coffee. And I'll talk about all this stuff and supplements. I'm happy to answer any questions around any of that, but I really want to make sure that I get to what you guys signed up for. So, okay, which I have been. I just get a little sidetracked because there's so much that I can say on all these topics about all the questions and all the things. So please keep your comments because I love them, and any questions, and I will make sure to intermittently come in and answer questions. Guys, I could just not even tell you how grateful we had, like an overwhelming, I mean, thousands, like it was like crazy in the best of ways for this topic. And this is how I know that this is so powerful. I cannot tell you enough that I received so much just information where I felt so deeply called that reinvention, and all the women that are in a space where they're like, women now more than ever are like, I have a voice, I have things to say, I'm ready to be seen, I'm ready to show up in a big way. I know that I can help people, whether, you know, like no matter what you're doing. And I'm so honored and so blessed. And I'm just so excited for all of you because yeah, you have the call in your heart for a reason. So this two-day event, high achieving women ready for more, right? So here's the thing. You've achieved success, and I want to hear from you. Even with your success, do you feel that you've truly stepped into your full potential? Yes or no? Do you feel that you're seen in the way that you truly desire to? Yes or no? And I'd love if you share in the comments. And also, I just want you to answer this for yourself. Are you earning and living at the level you know you're meant for? Like, is your life the life that you thought you'd be living? Is the house that you thought you'd have? Is your bank account reflective of where you thought you'd be? Is the love in your life reflective of what you thought you would experience? Your travels, your intellect, your body, your health. Health is wealth, guys. Optimal health creates optimal wealth. You give me a woman that feels good in her body, and she will go for her dreams. When she's really tapped in, turned on by herself, and she's like, oh yeah, no, I'm deserving and worthy. Worth and weight, completely tied. Worthiness and money, wealth. Worthiness, wealth, and weight, completely tied. It's all synonymous. So when women come to me and they'll say, you know, I'm worried about my weight, I'm like, it's the same dance, different day. Weight, love, money, it's all the same. It all comes down to the same fundamental truths that you've made about you that are blocking you from receiving the energy. Money's energy. We've just created paper money to give it a tangible value, right? But you know, it's like, oh, okay, I can't really put a price on health, but it's the way you feel. It's your energy, right? Everything is energy. We're all particles of energy. So this event isn't about getting just motivated. Like, yes, I want to inspire you. I want you to be aware, but it's about truth. It's about stepping into the level of confidence, power, and clarity where you have never hesitated. But like, you don't hesitate. You trust yourself. You make decisions. You have no qualms about what you're deserving of and asking for it. You have no problems expressing yourself or being seen. And by the end of this event, you will have a decision to make, right? Stay in the same patterns or claim the next level of you, right? And I'm going to show you exactly what happens when you do. So I really, really want you to understand in this event, I want you guys to be interactive. I want you to get clarity. I don't just want you to listen and have this be another event that you just attend that passes the time or is on in the background, or maybe if you get to it. I have put so much into this. I want this to be highly transformative to you. This is not passive, right? This is an experience. So engage, be all in. Be all in. Take this time for you. Walk away in these next 2 days. If you do these things, you will feel inspired. You will feel motivated, but you will have clarity. You will have a plan. You will know what to do next because you are about to meet the version of you who no longer holds back. Okay? If this, does this resonate with you? Do you get what I'm saying here? I know you do, but if there are any questions at all around anything that I'm saying or any clarity or any hesitations that you're feeling when I'm saying this, notice where it lives in your body. Is there fear there? If this resonates, then reinvention, this process is where you're meant to be, right? It's your next step. So that next level version of you, she exists. And you're ready, like you're fully ready to become her. But here's what I want you to know more than anything. I don't want you to think that you aren't her. And I don't want you to think that this version of you, that you need to lose weight to become her. You know, I started off and I was sharing that in Limitless Academy, one of the women said, you know, I'm confident. I said, great. So what's stopping you from being confident now? She's like, and I said, what belief do you have? She said that I need to lose weight. And I go, wow, so you're not allowing yourself to be confident right now because you're telling yourself you need to lose weight first? That's a joy stealer right there, right? I want you to think about that and how that relates to you. Are you not allowing yourself to feel wealthy because your bank account doesn't represent that? Because wealth is health. Wealth is the love that you have. I mean, there are so many things. Money can be taken at any time. But feeling wealthy, no one can take that from you. Everything comes back to identity. So why you're stuck and how to take up space unapologetically is what we are starting off this event with. This is breaking through your identity ceiling. So why you're stuck and how to take up space unapologetically. I want to share a story with you guys that's really powerful. And I had to coach a client through this. It was very, very powerful and very, very telling. And this was unmasking a hidden pattern that was keeping her playing small. So I want you to know that you're already capable, but your self-image is what's dictating your success. You can't outperform a broken identity. You can't outperform an identity, period. If you have an identity that you're not that smart, then other people will see you as not that smart. They will reflect it back to you. Everyone is your mirror. Most of all, who you've chosen to be your life partner. They are mirroring everything in you. Your children, your family. And in order to break the mold of how they see you, it's how you see you is what's going to break the mold. It's you changing your view of you. It's you having more respect for you. It's you honoring yourself. It's you loving your body. It's you taking the time for yourself. That's going to be the biggest change for you. So I say this. Okay, I thought that was my team messaging about this. So I had an experience where I was working an experience. It was this past week, and I did put this down, and I want to share it because I do think that it's so timely and so important. So yes and yes. Okay, so good. She called me. She had just come from dinner with her family, and she made herself really, really small. And she found herself sitting at the table, judging the conversation, feeling, how did she phrase it? She's like, Melissa, I literally felt like I just wanted to get up from the table. I felt small. I had a story going that that what I had to say and contribute wasn't important, that my family didn't find what I was saying as important as my sisters, that no one was really noticing me, that no one was paying attention to me. I mean, do you hear? There were a lot of inner conversations. I can't stress enough, your inner conversations are what's creating your reality. Right now, what you're thinking about yourself. Right now, you're having thoughts about me. You're having thoughts about this event. You're having thoughts. You're having a lot of thoughts. And she saw herself then not only make herself small, but she made herself wrong. So wrong and small thoughts are when we know that we've gone into separation and we're siding with the mind, which means we're completely disconnected from the body and from our own divinity. right? And that's our power center. That's where our voice really comes from. It's here. When we're up here, we're going to stay stuck. You can never write this down. You can never outthink yourself of a negative state. Never. And Heather Sparks, if you want, if you have a question for spot coaching, please let me know. I know you had sent that message, but I didn't get to read it. So I want to tell you that. So I say this because what proceeded after that was not only did she make herself wrong, she created stories that her family didn't value her, that they didn't see her, that she was unappreciated, that her sister was preferred over her, that, you know, and she left there feeling depleted, small, invisible, which then had her overeat, and essentially binge eat or emotionally eat. And her, that when we were talking earlier about judgments and parts, that part took over. Her inner child, the traumatized 12-year-old, 6-year-old, 4-year-old was coming out, and she was acting out. And it was a big F you. And she literally saw herself being like, what are you doing? like what, we don't want this. Like, we want to go to bed. And her inner child had complete reign. And she saw herself and she's like, Melissa, I have not binged. I have not emotionally ate in so long. And I saw it. I saw that that was a pattern that I had had my whole life. And I finally am aware that I created a lot of these stories, whether I felt them when I was little or not, but I don't need to anymore. And I said, no, you don't. And she said, I've learned this in our time together. And I said, I'm so glad. This awareness is so beautiful. Tell me what happened next. And she's like, I basically had like an out of body experience. I saw myself, but I didn't want to stop. I didn't want I didn't want to be responsible, and I didn't want to do anything differently. And I said, okay. And I said, and she goes, but I did not beat myself up and I did not make myself wrong. And the next day I woke up and I sat with my journal and I said, good. What did your journal say? Right. So we're on a real-time walkie-talkie app where I work with her to get in to program her subconscious. And she said, I saw that I created a narrative and it hurt me and it made me feel really bad. And I said, did you challenge the narrative? So this is a process that I take her to. I said, is that true? Is what you believe to be true? Did anybody say that they don't value what you're saying? Did anybody say that they don't like you? Did anybody at that meal not give you love or tell you to get up from the table and walk away and go basically huff and puff in another room? And she said, no. She's like, it was all me. And she said, and I don't want to operate that way anymore. And I basically saw how much I used food to cope with feeling unexpressed and insignificant. And I said, yes. How beautiful is that, guys? She saw, and this is what happens. So whether or not you use food or you sabotage following up with clients, or you sabotage not asking for that raise, or you sabotage by yelling at your partner, or you sabotage by lashing out at your kids, or you sabotage by going and spending all your money on Amazon or buying on Revolve or Ace or wherever you're shopping. I'm naming all the ones that I shop at. But I'm saying this to you because we act out, we disassociate, we want to numb out. And a lot of times that part has a lot of information. And so I guided her through, what do we do? So those parts, when you're going to want to go higher, they're going to come up. And it's you that gets to be with you and say, what's going on here? So I got on, and in our session, I'm just going to sit. You guys know how I do this now. I like to get a little inspired, and I have to sit like Kundalini style. I coached her through what to do, right? And I simply just said, we're going to go in, and we went in and we worked with a part. And you guys can all do this too. And I want to show you, you can tap in, you can go in and do breath work. You want to close your eyes, go into an internal experience. You're going to tap on your heart to awaken the body, to get out of the head. And you're going to say, I'm calling on the part in me that is angry with me. I'm calling on the part in me that's judging me. I'm calling on the part in me that blank. And you bring it forward, and you can say to it, you can ask, what age are you? You can ask what name it is. You can give that part a lot of characteristics, or guys, you can keep it so simple, and you can literally sit there and dialogue with that part in you and just say, what's going on here? And it's going to say, I'm angry, or I felt so small, or why didn't you protect us? Or no one likes us. And then you'll say, well, what do you need? And we want to talk to that part and ask what it needs. If a part is showing up over and over again, stopping you from showing up in a bigger way, playing big, it's got a voice, and that voice needs to be heard. And once we give that voice a stage, all these parts just want a stage. So you can think of it like a bully or like another part. Did you ever notice when you ignore a part, it just keeps coming back? When you ignore a bully, they come back stronger, right? Like when you don't actually lean into the fear, it amplifies. So we want to do the same thing with those parts within us that are saying, you can't have money. You can't start that business. You're too old to have a baby. You're too old to blah, blah, blah. You shouldn't get married. You shouldn't wear that. You're not meant for that. You're not smart enough. You don't have the credentials. You can't start a coaching business. You can't do this. You can't. Okay, what do you need me to know? What do you need from me? Why are you here? And then as the parent, and this is a lot deeper, we go very extensive into this process, but I want to give you an overview of how to relate to you and how to get you out of a stuck situation and how to get you out of feeling paralyzed and allowing the judger to stop you. Because all you actually need to do is say, hey, I see you, I acknowledge you, and we're going to start to do things differently. What do you need from me? And the judger might say, I need to know you're going to protect me, or I need to know that you're going to be there, or I need you to have a bigger voice, or I need to you to believe in yourself. Because if you don't, why am I supposed to? And you also get to tell that part, hey, you've been running the show for a long time. Not anymore. I'm now doing it. I'm awake and I'm aware and I'm an adult and I brought us here. So I've done a pretty damn good job, but you're actually now standing in the way of me blowing up my spot and having all my dreams come true. So no, thank you. And then when it shows up again, you go, no, thank you. And you can even do outward movements to signal to the mind, no, thank you. And I always tell my clients, speak out loud. Talk out loud and press upon the subconscious mind. Hey, this is how we're doing things. The mind's hearing your voice. There's only one vocal code and you only have one eardrum. You have two that hear your own voice. And your voice codes on a cellular level to you. That's why I teach, when I'm teaching to reprogram your mind, I tell my clients to do their own voice recording to hear their own voice, to reprogram their mind 10 times more quickly than listening to somebody else's subliminals or visualizations or repetitions or other things that we subscribe to. Create it for yourself on repeat. Listen to it over and over and over again. Watch what happens. Watch what happens. So if you guys have questions about that, let me know. But I wanted to make sure that I really touched on that because I received so many questions around this. Now, here's the thing. You are capable, but your self-image dictates your success. So you cannot outperform your identity. So I want you to go back to, what is that one thing? What brought you here? What is one thing you're wanting? One thing you want. If one thing could happen this year, what is it? You're in optimal health, wealth, starting the business, you're seen, you're totally yourself. Think of that one thing. And then I want you to take a moment. This is an exercise. It's called the power audit that I created. And this is where you're going to identify exactly where you are hiding, holding back, or waiting for permission. So where have you been settling? So write this down. If I fully owned my power, where would I no longer shrink? What would I do differently? Let me see if I can. Those of you who got the worksheets, I know. If you fully owned your power, where would you no longer shrink? I put it in the comments. What would you do differently? Oh, great question, Sybil. When you say you can't outthink a negative mind, does that mean it can't be reversed through thinking differently? No, it can. When I say you can't outthink yourself of a negative state. So what that means is when you sit there and you're stewing over something and you're beating yourself up, and then you just sit and you journal about it and you think about it and you journal about it and you think and you think and you think, and you try to get yourself out of that bad mood, and you try and you're thinking about why you're in it, you can't outthink yourself of a negative state. We actually need to change our emotional state, our environment, in order to have something different. So if you fully owned your power, where would you no longer shrink? What would you do differently? So right now, I want you to think about what would you be doing different? The identity that you currently have. So I'm going to go back to one that's more, and Taryn, let me know what yours was. So joy and peace within myself. So let's use civil. So joy and peace within yourself. What is the identity then that you have that right now that doesn't allow for joy and peace? What are the beliefs? Who do you believe you need to be, or what do you believe you need to have in order to experience joy and peace? Taryn, in order for you to be a successful musician, what identity do you currently have about you as a musician and your level of success? Do you believe that you can be highly successful? Do you believe you'll have to work a lot harder? Do you believe there's, the starving artist? Do you believe, like, what is the belief there? So if you fully owned your power, right? Where would I no longer shrink, and what would you do differently? So what I want to say, guys, is the real fear isn't failure. It's what if I never go after what I truly want? When, as you guys know, I lost my mom in December, right before Christmas. And it has you assess a lot of things and think about how you want to live your life and how short life is. My mom was only 77, and I never thought I'd lose her that young. And we always think we'll have more time. We always think we'll have more time. And we often put off a lot. Once I get the money, once I retire, once I have kids, once I lose the weight, once I build the business, once I get the business to this, as a business owner, I can tell you there's always another goal. Once I get my business to 6 figures, once I get my business to multiple 6 figures, once I get my business to 7 figures, once I get to multiple 7 figures, once I get to, right, once I launch this, once I do this. So I want to ask you, what do you truly want? If any and all things were possible, and you have all the money in the world, so you don't need money, what would you really want? And what would you do? How would you live your days? What would you do differently? Where would your house be? If any and all things are possible, money's not an issue. What would you love? What would you do? And so I know that often we think like, oh my God, I would just go spend all the money, and I would go do, you might at first, but then you'd come back to you with you, because at the end of the day, humans desire fulfillment, and we feel best when we're efficient and we are busy. I was walking with one of my friends yesterday, and she goes, Melissa, I'm so busy. She goes, but it's so exciting. She's like, I just feel so alive and productive. And I was like, yeah, I'm like, as humans, when we have a lot of white space, we like to feel efficient, to feel creative, to learn, to grow. When we're doing stuff we enjoy, she loves what she's doing, right? So the real fear isn't failure. It's, what if I never go after what I truly want? It's, there was another where George Clooney was talking in an interview, and I don't know why all these male interviews are coming up, but Venus retrograde. And he's just saying, when you're 65, you look at life and you you regret the things that you never tried, but you never regret the things that you failed at because at least you tried them once. And I think there's so much truth to that. So much truth to that. So when we are going into the process of reinvention, a big piece not only is really understanding that we can't become an identity that we don't, one, believe is possible, but two, inhabit the characteristics of that identity. So a poor identity can't create wealth. An overweight identity can't create health, right? Or I mean, if it's unhealthy overweight. So we have to really get clear on the identity and start to see where there is dissonance between what we say we want and who we're being, and then the stories that we tell ourselves. Because often I find that there's a correlation, and many times we can move up incrementally, but it's only because we've conceptualized something and we've acted in accordance with that concept, but we actually didn't become that version. We didn't own it. We didn't embody it in full faith of this is me now. There's no plan B. There's no going back. There's no like, what if it doesn't work? This is just what is. So in the reinvention system, one of the first places that we start is not only looking at identity, but releasing and rewiring. So step one with this, and tomorrow we're really going to get into embodying the woman that has it all and the power of deciding to play that bigger game and never looking back and becoming that woman who doesn't second guess herself and making the only option being your next level, right? Like really getting into that being undeniable. But what I want to go into now is the reinvention system of releasing and rewiring. So step one with this is releasing. And this is where we shed the limitations of self-doubt and outdated beliefs. And we do it now. So I really want you to look at where in your self-development, your self-improvement, your self-growth, you are creating time delays, where you're saying that you have all this work to do on you before you can be happy, before you have all this healing you have to do before your great love can come in. You have all this, weight that needs to be released before you can be health and feel sexy and confident and buy clothes that feel good for you, right? So we want to shed the limiting beliefs and the self-doubt and the outdated beliefs now. So let's go into a visibility audit exercise. This is a process that I do. I want you right now with a pen and paper, and in the comments, please, I love seeing and reading all of these, and I'll speak into these as you guys are doing this. Write down every excuse. This is your visibility audit exercise. Write down every excuse or fear that you have about being fully seen. Right now, part one of this is I want you to write down every excuse or fear you have about being fully seen. And that's seen by your family. This is not just those of you that want to show up online. Seen by your family, seen by your friends, seen by your partner, seen intimately, seen by your kids, seen by friends. Write down every excuse or fear you have about being fully seen. Oh, wow, Taryn. That is a powerful story right there. Yeah, that's not a good one that's going to serve you and going too far, right? For a long time, I felt people thought my songs were a joke and not taken seriously. So how is it to rewrite that narrative? To write a narrative where people are singing your songs and that your songs change lives and that your songs inspire them and bring joy and spread love and that they are coveted and that they go on for decades and centuries and they become songs like, Janis Joplin and James Taylor, and that people just sing and they love and they make them feel alive. That your music changes lives and that everyone who hears them is in awe of your talent. Isn't that a beautiful narrative? Why can't that be your truth? You inhabit that as your truth and watch what happens to your career. I would no longer shrink my time. I'd actually have time freedom to write lyrics with ease and do things that feed my soul. And you can do that now, right? I would no longer. So what's stopping you? Anybody else want to share what's stopping you, hun? So beautiful. Thank you for sharing. So part one, you're writing down, right? Every fear you have about being fully seen. You're going to be judged. You're not going to be liked, bad comments. Are you judging you? What comments do you say to you? You have to be your biggest cheerleader. Your most important relationship that you have in this life is you with you. You are your own soulmate. So then I want you to ask, what if all these fears that I have about feeling seen, what if these are no longer true? If they're no longer true. Remember, what did I say in the beginning? The only truth that exists is the one that you tell. That's the only real truth, the one that you believe. It's the one that you believe. Right? So what if it was no longer true? How would that change things for you? Guys, I'm getting you to think here differently, and I want to show you how easy and fun this gets to be, and that there doesn't have to be 100 steps, and it doesn't have to be anything other than you choosing it and being it and deciding, and then each day you align. You know, I messaged my Limitless Academy members the other day. We're all in a group thread, and I said, you know, your message today, wake up today and say, I choose to align with the highest and best version of me. I am aligned with the highest and best version of me. I make all my decisions from this energy, from this space, from this version of me. So then we allow, that's the quantum, right? I'm now up leveling into that identity, that version. So who is she? How is she different? That version, the version who has songs that span, right? I don't know if you saw the movie The Great Unknown. If you didn't, definitely do, about Bob Dylan. But it's like, if I have, it's such a good movie, guys. Did anybody see that? I mean, it was like one of those, I've not seen a really good movie in a long time. And the acting, and it's just so good. He fully was, it just owned, just so good. Such a solid movie. But would you shrink if you were famous? Would you not show up? Would you not take time to write lyrics if you knew that everyone was waiting for your next song and your record label wanted to give you millions of dollars? Come from that space. Watch what happens. Right? So step two, first we want to release. So what if this is no longer true? My invitation is to ask you guys, what would it be like if you let go of those beliefs? What would it be like if you chose to not believe those fears and they're lies? Lies. It's when you can literally say out loud, like, lies, lies, lies. Those are all lies. They are not true. They are not real. These are just lies, and they're costing me now. They're costing me. And I'm done. Step two, rewire. Step into the energy of the woman who takes up space, who owns her wealth, her beauty, her power. Okay? So how do we step into the energy of the woman who takes up space, who owns her wealth, her beauty, her power, and she does so confidently? So again, in the comments, your journal prompt is, I'm going to put this in the chat. If I was already the woman who had it all, how would I move? How would I speak? How would I dress? What would I do differently with my day? And what would I no longer tolerate? Better yet, what boundaries would you have? See, I find women that are in their full power and high vibe and confident and in a space of I'm unapologetically me, they have boundaries. They have very strong boundaries. When they say no, they say no. It's a complete sentence. They are not constantly saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry for breathing. When somebody offers them and they go, oh, I picked up your lunch, they're like, thank you. They're not like, let me Venmo, let me Zelle. No, we've got to split that. Oh my God, no, you didn't. When they get a compliment, they're not going, you're so beautiful. No, I'm so tired. And oh my God, and my hair and they're like, thank you. Thank you. They don't have a problem asking for vacations. They ask for raises. They don't have a problem asking for payments and to charge what they feel is their value. They are in a energy and ownership of self that is absolutely beautiful. This sure does drive me nuts. And I say that to you because I really want to ask you, where do you not have boundaries? Where do you sacrifice moving your body because you have a story that you wouldn't be a good mom, or you need to be doing blank with your kids? Where are you not eating healthy because you're putting everybody else's needs ahead of your own? Where are you not getting the sleep because you're putting everybody else's needs ahead of your own and you're not asking for support? Where do you not have boundaries with yourself and with the people in your life and with the things that you say that you want and not taking the time for them? Women of their worth make time for what's important for them. They make time for the relationships that are important. They make time for their health, and they invest in themselves. They invest in their growth. They invest their money. They take time to learn, to grow. They educate, and they invest in their happiness. They invest in taking care of their skin, their bodies, eating a certain way, moving, educating themselves, looking good. Fashion is a form of expression. You want to be a woman that is confident? The very first thing that people see is how you present yourself. Are your nails chipped? Do you not even get them done? Are there your cuticles? Like, these are things that you might be going, well, Melissa, what are we doing? But the woman, the version of you that you desire to be, get very clear. How does she love herself? These are all acts of self-love, appreciation, honor, and respect for oneself, right? And when we do that, it is an act of love. But it is also coming from the highest of, I have boundaries. These are things that I need for me, and I don't have a problem asking for them nor doing them. And I don't have a problem asking for support. A woman that is grounded in herself and in her worth, when somebody says, can I get those bags for you? You're like, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Go do that. I don't feel bad about it. I'm not like, oh my God, I feel bad that you got my groceries and I feel bad that you lifted that. We're not feeling bad. What are we feeling bad for? You are in my energy and my presence, and that is a gift. And I am in my worth. And I appreciate that you would like to support me. And it is also a gift for another to allow somebody to support them. So you guys get where I'm going with this? When you want to be seen, it is about taking up space. It's about having a voice. It's about being in your worth. It's an energy. It's an identity. So I really want you in day one to craft and look at what identities do I have that aren't serving me, that are creating a reality that I don't want anymore. Right now in the chat, this one piece of hair is driving me. I know I've been having, it's like one of those, it's a little day today. I want to ask you guys, when I say that, what is right off the bat, when you're thinking about identities, what identities do you have that are creating a reality? They can be really slight. I have an identity of somebody, if you have an identity of always being late, an identity of always being bad with money, an identity of not being good with style or fashion, an identity of being overweight, an identity of not being as smart, an identity of being, and what identities do you have that are really serving you? Get clear on what these are. Because remember, reinvention is about you get to design who you want to be by your design, not by default, not by society, not by culture, not by family dynamics. You don't have to be the wife that you've been, the grandmother, the entrepreneur, the daughter, the single one, the married one, the one that's a pushover, the one that's bossy, the one that you don't have to own any identities that you don't want anymore. And when you say things that are highly detrimental, and I want to make sure that I speak into this in language, is this: when you own things like, oh, I've been overweight my whole life, or everybody in my family has a heart issue. Why would you ever assume an illness? Because, oh, I've never been good in with English, or I've never been good with math, or I've never been good with numbers, or my partner does that. It's just not my thing. Or, oh, I'm so not creative. Oh, I have no idea what colors are good for me. Like, fashion's just not my domain. I just don't do it. The only time we don't want to do something is when we believe that we're not good at it. I don't know a woman that inherently doesn't want to enjoy putting clothes on her body and have fun with fashion in some form or another, even if she wants to just walk around in like athleisure wear and sweatpants, which I often do too. But I don't know a woman, it's just she's bought into a belief that it's not good, that she's not good at it, that she doesn't know how to do it. I had a friend like this, and she was like, yeah, I'm always just sporty spice. And I go, do you want to be sporty spice? You always describe yourself as sporty spice, but I don't see you that way. You're actually quite like elegant, and you always talk about being bad with style, but I think you buy pretty things. Like, why do you say that? And she was like, you know what? I don't know. And I don't really want to be sporty spice. And I was like, yeah, I don't think you are sporty spice. And I was like, you don't sound empowered. Like, if she loved it and was like, me, I'm sporty spice, I'd be like, cool. But she'd be like, oh, I don't know, I'm kind of like a sporty spice. And I was like, you say it in this very disempowered voice. And she was in my mastermind, and I just said, do you want it? And she goes, no, Melissa, I don't. And she goes, and I don't know why I say I'm bad with fashion. I felt like it would overwhelm me. And I go, okay, so you got overwhelmed with knowing what was right for you, but that's an education thing. You're not bad at it. So stop saying you're bad at it. Stop saying, really pay attention to the narratives that you have. I'm bad with money. Why would you say that? Because you don't know, because you've overspent before, or maybe you went bankrupt, or you got audited, or like, who cares? Don't make it an identity. Oh, we struggle with depression. Why are you owning that? It's like don't own things you don't want. Oh, this belly, ever since I had my kids, I just can't lose it. Stop, please, guys. Your words, oh, they're so powerful. They are literally creating for you or against you, because everything that comes out of your mouth has an internal story with it. And that inner dialogue, that inner narrative is potent, and it's powerful, and it has created so much for you. So really understand that when you're outwardly saying, oh, my belly after I had a kid, just never gotten it back again. Never say never. Never. Please. It's not a good word. By the way, the subconscious mind doesn't know the words no or not and never. So when you say, I'm never going to do that again, it doesn't hear that. It's like when you say, I'm never going to eat that cake again, I'm never going to overspend again, all it hears is, I'm going to spend again. It truly, those no, not, never in the subconscious are mute. They're mute. So I don't know if you guys don't know that. If you don't know that, then you're welcome. It's a good one to know when you're wanting to reprogram your thoughts and create affirmations. So the other thing that I want to tell you that's really, really important is just notice your narratives when you walk in with family. Notice your narratives when you're intimate with your partner, your spouse. What are you thinking? What are you thinking they're thinking? What are you telling yourself? They're your mirror. Everything that you think, everything is energy. Every thought that you have, oh, they're thinking I'm this, they're thinking I'm that. No, you're thinking you are. And then you're going to think that they are too, because you're actually energetically creating it, right? If you're going in for a job, go in with, I already got the job, it's done. Who wouldn't want to hire me? Of course. Start putting of course in your words and stay away from verbiage like someday, I wish, I'm trying, I'm hopeful, maybe, for now. You know, I hear that one a lot in our community. Women will go, oh my God, Melissa, it's working for now. Why are you putting a limit on? No, this is just who I be. Of course it's working. It's going to continue this way. Oh my God, I'm so proud of myself, Melissa. I'm so proud. All week I did this, and you know, I was so good this week. Don't put limits. No, assume the new identity. I'm so good. I'm healthy. I'm a healthy, fit woman. I'm healthy. This is my healthy girl era. This is who I am for life. Start putting time and context around ownership of self that you want. I'm healthy for life. I've been helpful my whole life. I'm this, I'm that for life, for things that you want. But please, I cannot stress enough, and I'm going to sound like a broken record, do not own illnesses. Menopause, perimenopause. I don't care if you're a doctor and you're like, but Melissa, it's very real. Stop making it a reason for all the things and saying that it's why it's so hard for you. You're making it hard for you because you're saying it's hard. Do you know how many people told me that I would gain like 30 pounds without having a thyroid? And I was like, why would I ever entertain that as a truth? Ever. And I'm not going to. And it's been the polar opposite experience for me. I've stayed the exact same weight. If anything, I think I look better, healthier, and more fit than I did 10 years ago. Go look at my videos and you can see what I'm talking about. I mean, what? No. Everything I say, I'm aging backwards. Why do you think people go, Melissa, you look younger than ever. You look younger than you did 10 years ago. Because I say it. I say it, and I say it everywhere as often as possible. And I believe it to be true. So they're going to reflect that back to me. Do you get what I'm saying? How many times, yeah, and Taryn's saying that she's the underlying, she's telling herself that she's fat. Yes. And Christina, I'm so glad that you were able to make it today and come back tomorrow. And yes, and I mean, we're still not even finished. So guys, I cannot stress it. If you think this is enough, I'm like, try joining one of my programs. If you think this is transformational. So I'm telling you right now, watch your words, watch your stories. Start saying everyone loves me, life loves me. Lucky girl syndrome was not anything other than this woman repeating to herself that she was lucky, and then she saw that it happens. Yes, it happens because she speaks it so much that she believes it. Everyone is your mirror. Everything is you pushed out. Walk around today and repeat inside your mind, that person loves me. Everybody loves me. Everything is working out for me. This is the best day of my life. I look gorgeous. I look better than ever. Everyone is complimenting me. Everyone thinks that I lost weight. I lost weight. I look so good in my body. Money just comes to me. Miracles come to me. Everyone loves me. This is the best day of my life. I'm the luckiest girl in the world. Everyone loves me. Everyone loves me. Everybody loves this event. This is the best event ever. I feed myself stories and then they become my reality. And you can too. You don't believe me? Go do it today. Just do it today. Just do it today. Even like, just watch what happens. Even take out your notebook right now and write down this person. If you're going to go and get your nails done, if you're going to go into the office, if you're having dinner with your partner tonight, say that they said, and you know, he said, I'm so beautiful. She said, I'm so beautiful. If you want them to bring you flowers, they brought me flowers. Oh my God. And close your eyes and see them bringing you flowers. This person complimented me. I got this done today. Money came to me unexpectedly. Now say it and say it all day long and feel it. And when somebody's talking to you, repeat in your head, they think I'm so beautiful. They can't stop looking at me. They think I'm amazing. Oh my God. They think my smile's amazing. They think they think this is amazing. I guarantee, come back in tomorrow and tell me, I guarantee that the person talking to you will say to you, you have the most beautiful smile. Wow, your hair looks incredible today. Oh my God, your skin is glowing. You're just beautiful. I just had to tell you, you just look stunning today. You will hear something and you will be like, Melissa was right. And it's not about me being right. I want you to understand the power that you have in your mind. So are you creating for you or are you creating against you? So I want to hear right now, as of this point in time, because I'm feeling like light bulbs going off left and right. Remember the language we're letting go of. Someday, I'm trying. I hope, I wish, maybe. Would you bank on somebody? Would you even be here right now if I said, someday you're going to get what you want? If you keep trying, it's going to happen. you would be like, why am I talking to this girl? She's telling me that someday, like I wanted it yesterday. And she's telling me if I keep trying, I'm done trying. I've been trying. I want to guarantee, I want to know. Like, right? People don't sign up to work with me because they want to try. They want to get what they want. They want results, right? Like, so you need to be emphatic and tell the universe, hey, I'm owning peace today. I'm owning joy today. I'm owning being visible today. I'm owning showing up in a big way today. I'm owning being abundant today. I'm owning that I am a powerful, badass, bold woman. I am unapologetically me. I am confident. I'm expressed. I'm showing up. I'm here. And it is done. The money's on its way. The love is on its way. The optimal health is on its way. The weight releases so effortlessly. It was so fun. I love getting healthy. I love feeling so strong in my body. We want to create the narrative and speak into it over and over. Stand in front of the mirror, look deep in your own eyes, tell yourself the things you want to hear, give yourself that soul recognition. Tomorrow, you guys definitely want to come because I'm going to do an energetic activation and a really, really potent visualization. Okay, so I would rest more. Yep, getting your feminine. My habits would be writing and tasks. So do it now. What are we putting off? Do you get what I'm saying, guys? So I want to hear from you as of right now. What's been your biggest aha? What's really, really getting you? What are you going to do today after this event? Share in the comments as I take another sip. Yes. So, okay, this is such a great question. Please share in the comments, guys. I love. Reinvention is different from manifestation because it's an embodiment of an identity. Manifestation, I love, and I teach manifestation, but I find that many, and I find it highly frustrating. In fact, I have a video coming out about 8 myths in the self-development, self-improvement world that I think are blocking success and actually creating more failure and ruining people's lives than improving it. And I bought into a lot of them too. And so I was like, I'm going to create a video on this because I don't want this to happen to others. So I'm not going to get into that here. That will be coming out on my YouTube channel over the weekend. But and those of you on my email list, you get that as well. But what I wanted to say is manifestation is beautiful. And manifestation, it comes with clarity. And it is manifestations also, you have to assume the identity. And that's what I saw was a missing component. Many people were visualizing, but they were watching it as a movie instead of seeing themselves through their own eyes, getting the Emmy, through their own eyes, looking at their bank account with all the zeros, seeing through their own eyes the ring go on their finger, or walking out on their wedding day, seeing through their own eyes, holding their baby that they just had. Manifestation, I find so many talk about it and it's going, viral with, this and oh my God. And I would see so many women tell me, Melissa, I'm affirming till the cows come home and nothing is changing. And I have multiple vision boards and nothing's changing. And some days it's working and then it stopped. And now I'm afraid it can't come back. Or the best is, Melissa, I'm affirming and I'm journaling and then I'm meditating and I'm visualizing and I see it in my visualization and I feel it, but it's not happening. And I'm like, well, what is all of this? And I realized what the missing piece is. One, you've got to have inspired action, in spirit, inspired action, aligned, inspired action. So that's one. Two, I found that many women were manifesting without clarity. They would say things like, I see myself wealthy. I see myself happy. I want to live a big life. Okay, great. Is your life not big now? The universe can't give you what you want if you aren't clear. I just want my marriage to feel, I want it to feel extraordinary. Well, your vision of an extraordinary life and mine are going to be different. I want a thriving business. Okay, so what does that mean though? What are you doing? I want to feel fulfilled and purposeful. And they create these vision boards, but they were so ambiguous. And then the vision board also had no connection between their current life. They're sitting there in debt in an apartment, and then they've got a multi-million-dollar home on their vision board. And it's like, And so we've got to go up the ladder of belief. So how do we reprogram our mind when we have this big vision? And that would be another one I would also hear. But Melissa, I feel it. I know it's meant for me. I feel it. And I see it so clearly. Great. But it's now out here. We need to bring it in here. So how do we do that? We don't climb Machu Picchu by staring at it. We have to train, and we go to different base camps, and we do different stops, and then we get to the top. And with each base camp, we've had experiences, and we shift, and we learn something. Then we take that with us, and we go to the next. But if we didn't, we just look at the top of the mountain and go, oh my God, that's overwhelming. How am I going to get there? We'd probably stand at the bottom, paralyzed, like many, right? Going, I know I'm feeling called to go there. I'm feeling called. I feel it. I'm here for a reason. God called the universe. Like I wouldn't see it otherwise, right? I see it in my dreams and it's there. And you just stare at it and you look at it, but you'd be paralyzed because you don't actually have a plan and you don't actually believe it's possible, but it's there and you look at it. That's what I was seeing time and time again. And it was painful. And I experienced it myself. And then you feel like you failed. And then you're going, well, I don't understand because I believe in this and I do see it. And I know it's meant for me, but I don't understand. And then I saw that we need clarity. So we need to, one, have a clear intention plus inspired action yields your desired result. You need to be very clear, very clear. Get as detailed as you can. Who is the version of you that's the successful singer? Who is the version of you that's showing up powerfully online that doesn't care if her family's judging her or not because her impact is so great and her income and her wealth and her life feels so extraordinary and she's just so fulfilled in who she is that she doesn't care if they're judging her because she's like, I'm so in my own power, in my own expression, in my own knowing that this is my purpose. And so what I saw was that clarity has to be there. So get definitive, get so detailed. How do you dress? What does it look like? What's your hair look like? What's your makeup look like? What's your body look like? Right? What are her daily habits? How does she think? Where does she shop? How does she dress? How's it different? And then instead of getting caught in, well, I don't have the money to shop in, at Saks all the time or to go to this store and Chanel and blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, that doesn't matter. Right now, we just want to get clear that that's a desire of yours. Is it? Some people that think like I dress well, like doesn't mean you have to go to Chanel. Like everybody's got a different idea. So you want to get clear that dream life that you have, get detailed. Don't just say it's my life of my dreams. Well, what is your dream life? Do you have multiple homes or do you just have one? Or do you not have any? Because that just feels exhaustive. Do you even want to write a book? Does it need to be a New York Times bestseller? Or do you just want to write something because you love to write and you want to self-publish it? What are your dreams? Get clear. And then when you're crafting the identity, look and go, okay, well, the version of me that's a successful, writer, actress, coach, speaker, author, mom, whatever you want. Well, how does her lifestyle, how is it different than mine? What beliefs does she have about herself that I don't? And that's when you bridge the gap. It's just like finding your soulmate. You want to write down every characteristic about that they have and then say, and look and go, am I that to myself? Everything that I want in a partner, often what we want in a partner, we actually want to be ourselves. And then you have to look and go, okay, am I those things? If I want him to be or her to be financially independent and wealthy, am I? If I want them to be kind and generous, am I? If I want them to be smart and faith-based, am I? If I want them to dress nice, do I? If I want them to, think my body is amazing, do I? So we need to be that. Do you guys see what I'm saying? So with that, you want to get clear on identity. And that's what we do in reinvention. That's why I actually created a 6-month course where we go step by step to make you do it. Because that's another thing that I see so much in the self-development, is so many people ingesting information and coming to events and watching and doing. That's why I have you guys do this stuff when you're here with me, because I want you to leave having done something. I want transformations. I want ahas. I want to know that you got what you signed up for. I pour my heart and soul into these. My team, we all come together to make this happen. So I created a 6-month course because I had so many women say to me, Melissa, you reinvented yourself. You went from being overweight, non-athlete, to being fit for life and having, actually creating a business around it, an identity around it, being a fitness competitor. Like, you did it. You went from not being trained at all and not having a degree in fashion, being a fashion designer in the #1 market in the world, being sent around the world to trend track. Like, how did you do that from a small town girl in Delaware who actually had no degree? How did you do that? I reinvented myself. I reinvented myself. How did you then go and do that and then started a successful online business? I reinvented myself over and over again. I've done it all over. How? So I looked at this and I created a framework to take people through, because I was like, this is what's missing. And the biggest thing, and this was such a great question. So thank you, Allie, so much, because with manifestation, the other one, the biggest one is identity. They weren't assuming the identity from the full faith of like, this is me now. There was still, in manifestation, I saw many women going, I'm still trying to be it. I'm still working towards it. I'm still trying. We don't want to try. You don't try. I don't try to be a coach. I'm a coach. I don't try to be on YouTube. I'm not trying to do this right now. This is who I be. I don't have to try to be fit each day. It's who I be. So I'm not writing down every day, I'm a coach, right? Because I'm it. I don't write down every day, I worked out today, because it's just what I do. I worked out even when I had my foot in a boot for 8 weeks, because it's who we be. So when you own the identity, there's a knowing. And knowing is your highest vibrational frequency. No one can knock you down. When you know it's you could sit here and be like, Melissa, you're not a coach. And I'd be like, okay. Like, I've been doing this for 20 years. You're going to tell me no? Right? Okay. Well, I don't care what you say, because I know, right? Like, you could question me around my faith. I know. So it's like when people ask me, Melissa, do I share my goals too early? I say, no. You get so grounded in them before you share them that no one's lack of faith in you can knock you down, that no one's question that you're going to become a musician, a famous musician, Taryn, that no one can knock you. You get so grounded in that identity. Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, you're going to share it and you're going to show up, but you're going to work on the back end to get so aligned that that's just it. There is no plan B. Take plan B off the table, guys. So that's the primary difference with reinvention and manifestation. So, okay, Mary, another great question. So reinvention is my 6-month program. So for anybody that's looking and is ready to go all in, that they're just like, it's so good. One of our new members said last week, she said, well, I can't afford not to do this. She's like, I'm just done. Like, I will not stay where I am. And I was like, there you go, girl, because there's no one better to bet on than yourself. Reinvention, I've never seen another program like it. I created it. It's a 6-month program. There's actually a course that takes you through actually creating the identity, the life, the body, getting so aligned intuitively and clear on who you're choosing, releasing and going through the reinvention framework of releasing and rewiring and truly reinventing and in the ownership and embodiment. And then we also have a course around actually going towards creating your business, supporting those who want to either start their own business, show up for what they want, but taking you through the framework of actually the identity of the successful owner of your purpose, fulfillment, your next level identity in your career and purpose, whether that's you being an actor, a writer, a coach, a speaker. I mean, we have people in there, and then we have women that just know they're being called to something and they want the support and the clarity, and then how to actually bring it out to the world. And this is I invested the other way, where I invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in masterminds with those that promised me, you're going to make this much money and I'm going to show you all the business strategy. But if you're not locked in unwavering faith in your success, and if you're not clear on who you're talking to, and if you're not clear on who you are and what you really want, then you're going to do what I did and what I've seen so many of my colleagues do that are many of them no longer in business is, and many that are successfully, but they had to go about it the hard way like me. You end up finding yourself that you built a business through a lot of struggle and working your ass off. And instead of being in flow and alignment and ease and really allowing for all my dreams are coming to fruition, I'm asking myself the big questions, pushing yourself to go, but what would you love? Instead, you end up designing off of lack, limitations, fear, not really being grounded, not full belief that you're going to be successful at what you're going to do, not in full belief in who you are. So you end up coming from a paradigm and designing, again, by a default and old identity, a version of you that isn't powerful and unapologetic. And that is unfortunate because you can waste a lot of years that way. So reinvention is really, it combines that. And we do, it's got group, in person, and private with me for the ultimate transformation. So it's really, really awesome. And then, like I said earlier, those of you who apply, you have to apply. We don't take everybody. We have turned people away if it's not a right fit. This is a high investment program for those that are ready to go all in on their dreams and they're ready for big changes. They're really ready to show up. And again, we're taking Plan B off the table and it just won't not happen. And they know that they need accountability. They want to be in community with other women who are going for their dreams and they're ready to play big, and they are done wasting any more time in anything else. So they're done trying to read a book or piecemeal it together themselves. And they're, even if afraid, they're going all in. So that is, and then it has a retreat too. Limitless Academy is our online mind, body, life mastery membership. It's incredible. I love it. That's a lower investment. But you know, it's different. It's an online, it's our membership community. And the primary difference is one has me privately, and we're in an intimate group. We have an online retreat, and it truly is that group, that those women get a lot more of me, undivided attention, and I teach them content that you don't get elsewhere. And we're fully crafting their next level identity. And then watch out, because I mean, you'll see. Like it's epic and amazing. For the women that I've done it with already, they're unrecognizable in incredible ways. So I will put that application here. Yes, I will get that for you. Okay. So guys, going back to this, if there are any other questions, let me know. Also, if you have any questions, you can email support@melissacatherine.com. My team's incredible. You can also DM me and I can answer any questions. Like I said, reinvention starts April 1st. And we only have a few spots left. So definitely, if that's what you're feeling called to, and you want to get the bonus of Love Your Body, Lose the Weight, or Limitless Academy, that's what's being offered in this program. So, or in this live event. Okay, so I want to go back to this. If you were already the woman who had it all, how would you move? How would you speak? What would you no longer tolerate? Most of all, and I said this one earlier, what boundaries would you have? What boundaries would you have that you don't currently? It's really good, guys. What boundaries would you have? And so I just want to ask you, and when I say boundaries, so that is the, for reinvention, you guys can learn more about reinvention. I know you were asking me. And then if you click on that, you can get on our calendar and you can speak with myself. You can speak with me or my team. This program though, I do like to do the calls as much as possible. If you have any questions about Limitless Academy, I will put that here too. And that for anybody here right now, you get the, oh my God. I don't know what's happening. It's too much. Mary, can you put that in the chat? You're here. I would really appreciate it. Okay, good. She's going to get that. Great. Okay. So I want you to think about boundaries, and let's just like really look at this. So boundaries, if you were already the version of you that you wanted to be, what boundaries would you have? What boundaries? What would be different about how you would allow others to access you? The things you say yes to? What would those be? And so often it's an honoring of time. It's making sure that you get to bed early, right? It's getting up earlier. It's making the things that you need to invest in yourself a priority. Taking care of yourself differently. You would honor your no's and bless your yeses. No is a complete sentence, and so is yes, right? The high value version of you maybe doesn't really exist, right? I mean, I know like maybe isn't we can get caught there, but maybe is a that's a that maybe I always say maybe is a no. If you're not a hell yes, it's a hell no. And whenever we get caught in a maybe, unless it's a fear-based, thank you. Unless it's a fear-based. So that's a great question. How do we know if it's a fear? How do we know if it's a fear-based, response? Ask yourself, often the fear comes up, if failure wasn't an option, if money wasn't an issue, if judgment wasn't there, what would I do? Money is usually a limiter. Failure is a limiter. So if we know that we're going to win, and if we know that if we know that we're going to win, and if we know that we're not going to lose any money, that there's no bad investments. See, a lot of women invest and they get gun shy if it doesn't work, especially when it comes to body stuff, business stuff. If you've lost money, and then you stop trusting yourself. And then we create these really strong narratives that keep us from growth. I mean, I can tell you, I did that and I've regretted every time I did, because you end up staying the same. And so the fear and excitement are on the same energetic plane. So when you take those bigger excuses out of it, it makes a huge difference. It really, really does. I want to make sure, am I answering do you guys did I get all the questions answered? So what I really want to say, oh my God, I did so good. Tomorrow we're doing Embodying the Woman Who Has It All. And this is truly about playing bigger. I'm just looking down because I have like massive notes. I told you guys I put so much into these events. Today with the releasing and rewiring, I really want to leave you with, if you were already the woman who had it all, money's not an issue. How would you move? What would you wear? How would you speak? What would your lifestyle be? What would be different? We want to start operating as her, okay? So the biggest thing here, guys, is I know, and I can feel it. I can feel that so many of you have had these ahas and massive shifts just by being here today. I got you to think differently, opening up your space to start to question. I don't want you to have any beliefs that you're not choosing. I want you to know that the truth that you speak is the only truth. It's what you're making to be true about you. If you don't like something going on in your world right now, you have the power to change it through the words that you say in your inner dialogue. And then the identity that you own. Wealth does not make you wealthy. It's owning the energy. It's you knowing that you're worthy. And I'm here to tell you, you are. You wouldn't be here if you're not. You're meant to blaze your own unique path and trail. Don't give up. Don't stop. In fact, what I'm hearing so clearly is that the rest of your life is going to be the best of your life, and you're truly just getting started. So if we're looking at your book of life, we just closed one chapter and we're starting another. What do you want it to read? If you're reading about the character and the star is you, you're the writer, the producer, the director, you are the star. You're the protagonist in this story. What is she doing? She's living without regrets. She's living a bold, big life. She's showing up. She's going for her dreams, and she's not letting fear of judgment stop her. She's not letting just other human beings get in the way, because she knows that her soul came here to expand, to express, to fly, to live a big, bold, beautiful, extraordinary life. And you and only you know what you're capable of. And if you're not living to that full potential, know that your potential is greater than any problem. And your power over your mind is greater than any fear. And that you can flip that fear into an excitement at any time. And if you feel called and if you are ready to go there, definitely apply to join Reinvention or start in Limitless Academy. But if you like being in this energy and you like these conversations and you know that you're ready, we get to get outside of just consuming information and start living it. And it starts with the energetic decision of, I'm here to play big, and I'm here to invest in myself, and I'm here to show up because I've decided. So of course this is going to work for me. Of course it is. I'm choosing it and I'm stating it. So of course it's going to become my reality. And then every day you get to show up and blow yourself away. That's all you need to do, is one day be bigger than you were the day before, bolder than you were the day before. So tomorrow we're going to get deeper into the embodied state. And this is so exciting because that's where true power lies. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So I'd love to hear, before we go, reinvention. And I know I went deep into this, but it's truly a process of embodying through clarity, through intention, and through action. And so I don't want us wishing for things anymore. And I don't want us feeling like failures because those wishes haven't manifested. It's truly coming down into what I say is true will be true for me. And then I'm going to ground it in that belief, and I'm going to back it up through evidence. I'm going to back it up through action. And then I'm going to do what I teach in Limitless, is how to stack the benefits and stack the evidence so that our mind can't come in and tell us anything different. And that is extremely powerful. I'm going to talk more about that tomorrow. So if you guys, and I will put this here for those. Yes. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know why that link wasn't okay. So if you want to get, yes, here, I'm going to put it here. So you can learn about reinvention there. Here is the calendar link. I know you guys were asking for that. You can go there and you can book a call. And I just, it's really to learn more about where do you want to be in 6 months. 6 months is the optimal time for transformation. Yes, we could go longer, but it's 6 months for you to see real change and to reprogram your mind and to have you come in by design of who you want to be and gain the clarity and back that up by removing and releasing limiting beliefs and old identities to bring you into wholeness and who you want to be. That's reprogramming the mind. So what we do in reinvention is we shift your identity, we program the mind, we do spiritual nutrition and cellular healing. And the end is that full reinvention. And that's the full embodied state. And spiritual nutrition is truly aligning you, mind and body, because everything is energy. So you're not going to become the best version of you by eating crap and not thinking good thoughts about you and having no energy, right? We have to start with your body. And the body is the portal. That is the vessel for all healing and for you to go higher, to heights that you've never been. Because if you feel good in your body, you are unstoppable. You'll go for your dreams without question. And so we teach you how to do that from the embodied state and to hear your own intuition and to be so tuned in and tapped into yourself and to the inner guidance that you receive that you can easily quantum leap to where you want to be. Because your intuition, your higher self knows so much better than you. It's already done it. So we need to get out of our 3D and operate from the fourth dimension and so on to elevate ourselves into those levels. And that's what we do. And then we combine that with the practical, the application, and the spiritual, right? For a full holistic program where you're supported from all accounts. So you've got the accountability, the support, and I'm coming in to reprogram your mind and guide you so that you don't get stumped, right? So that you're not waiting weeks or wondering, what am I going to do? And then you've got your community, and we have our group calls and the actual course that you have for life. So it's epic. I've never seen anything like it. And I was like, this is the exact thing that I would want. And so I created it. And so I would love, love, love to meet you. I hope you guys will come back tomorrow. The Embodying the Woman Who Has It All is what we are doing. And that is part 1 of day 2. And then we're moving into fully redefining. And that's where you see yourself at your highest level. And we're going to do that activation and visualization. So come back tomorrow, 11 to 1. Please share this with anybody you know who is ready to go to their next level. And I would love to hear from you. What did you get from today's event? What are you walking away with? What are you going to share with somebody else? The greatest gift back to me is to share one thing that you learned and to spread it forward with somebody else. So if something really spoke to you, maybe it was the power of our words. Maybe it was, getting in front of the mirror, maybe whatever that is. I highly would absolutely love if you would just spread that to one person so that they can change and we can all go higher together. And that's what it's about. We're all one. Let's rise together. I'm imparting on my next greatest reinvention. And that's the coolest thing about this next 6-month program. I'm going to be doing it with you guys live. So that's the most potent thing is you are fully immersed in my energy and we're going to be there side by side, all going higher. I'm just in awe. I'm so excited. I'm so honored for those who have already joined. And Limitless Academy, check it out. Everything I do, I'm so honored and I love it. And if you just want to attend this event, come. I'm more than happy and just so blessed that you were here. All my love. And I will see you tomorrow, 11 to 1. Love you guys. Any questions, DM me. I'm around. Bye.